Welcome to Hardheaded Podcast. We're excited that you've joined us as we have a conversation.
It's time to join the conversation.
All right, welcome to the Hardheaded Podcast, episode 159. Christmas is upon us. Hope you already got your shopping done for this season. All right, anyway, I'm Troy Trussell, your host this evening.
What is today?
December 21st.
Oh, my goodness.
That's right.
4 days, boys.
Boys.
Wow. All right, Chet Sears is with me as he is jolly and ripe.
I don't know what that
Definitely right.
That's an inside joke for those of you listening. And also here with us as
If only we had
always,
smell-o-vision.
Mr. Matt Amos. Matt is going to start us off with what is on his mind. We're going to do our top 3 Christmas traditions. If you have some, share them in the comments below. And then Chet's going to leave us with a good word. Probably Jesus or birth or something like that. Who knows?
Nope, and nope.
All right. It's a surprise.
He's going off the wall.
Off the rails.
I got creative for you guys.
Yeah, that's exactly right. He got creative. It's going to have something to do with resurrection.
Maybe.
Matt, what's on your mind?
Troy, I'm going to tell you what's on my mind.
Do it.
And it's called the social media blues.
Oh.
And
What kind of, they play that in Memphis?
yeah, it's a new type of blues. But it's really just some of the, and of course, I mean, it's all relative. You know, if you can get online and you know, look for anything and whatever mood you're in can be amplified, I guess, with what you're looking for specifically.
Yeah.
You know, you can scroll through some really good posts, really positive posts, and you just pick up on the negative post because you're just in a negative mood. So recently I was scrolling through, and that absolutely has no bearing on this topic, but I needed a title. That was the title. And I came upon a guy giving a lecture, and the gentleman is very well known and celebrated in a lot of communities. And you know, you're scrolling through.
Is it you?
What? Me? Celebrated in a lot of communities?
Yeah, giving lectures.
No.
Okay.
It's definitely Troy. But we've gotten to this place in society where if somebody has had a movie made about them, or people have seen them on the cover of a magazine or newspaper or whatever the case may be, all of a sudden everybody begins to believe the story that they're being told, even if that story is not factual. So, you know, the media creates these people that become basically uncancelable until the media decides that they need to be canceled.
You're not naming names.
I'm not going to name names.
I think I know who you're talking about.
You may know who I'm talking about. But, you know, so scrolling through the comments, there was one person who knew the truth behind the story that was told. And everybody ragged on this guy and was just like, blah, 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 this, and you don't know anything. And they came to this person's defense.
But they didn't know the person.
But they don't know the person. All they know is the story that they're being told.
Yeah.
And that's a huge problem, because here you have, you know, and I scrolled through, there were probably 1,500 comments. I scrolled through every single one of them and found maybe 3 people that said, hey, maybe that's not completely legit because here's some other things that have been said and learned. And then you got all these people that just bash them because they don't want to take the time to go research what actually happened. The information's out there.
Yeah.
And, these people even cover it in their talk. If you just listen and read between the lines, it's right there.
I don't know if this is what you're talking about, but I spent way too much time in my life because I'd heard things about, I'll just go ahead and name names. Rob O'Neill.
Okay.
So who's the guy that claims to have shot bin Laden.
Right.
And there was a guy who served with Delta who systematically took down, in Rob's words, showing that Rob, the main narrative of Rob's story is fabricated. That Rob says. And he goes back and he airs clips of Rob talking about it when he didn't want to talk about it, and then Rob telling the story, and then what the story is now. And all three are different out of Rob's mouth.
Right.
So that dude was catching a lot of flack, but he brought receipts. Like, don't come at me. I'm not saying this. I'm letting Rob speak for himself.
Yeah, these are the facts.
Yeah.
So I'm not talking about Rob.
I know. I think I know who you're talking about. But I'm just giving an example of, you can go out there and find that on the internet. And I really don't care. Other than, like, I don't, if Rob O'Neill wants to sell books and run for Congress, whatever. But truth matters. And whether or not you're completely distorting it for selfish gain, or you're allowing other people to fabricate a story on your behalf, it's not cool. Just let the truth be the truth and quit going any other direction with that for any other purpose. And golly, these Navy SEALs are popping up everywhere now. Like, everybody's getting out, so they're all these books are coming out. There probably ought to be a section in the library just Navy SEAL authors, because like every one of them's getting a book deal. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, and so, along those lines, I mean, but you've got this horde of people that now come to your defense and perpetuate the story, so that you basically become this person who can basically say anything, and these people are going to defend you. And I don't know, like I don't want to call it a God complex, but it's the person's following that. I don't know what those people, like a cult following, I guess is kind of the best way to describe it. Because this person can literally do no wrong, like so much and this and did all of this and went through all of this, and it's like, well, not exactly. I mean,
right.
Like there's portions of that are true, but there's portions that aren't, and granted, Hollywood makes fantastic movies based off this stuff, and that's not all. That's a lot of that stuff's made up too. But people believe that to be the 100% the way it happened, and it's not always that way. And so I was just reading through that, and I just agreed with one of this guy's comment, and I said, it just, I wish people would research a little bit more and just stop believe everything they're being force fed, and maybe actually do some actual research to maybe that differs from their point of view. And I think that's everybody in society as a whole. It doesn't have to just do with somebody on a stage making, all these claims about this story and telling a story that's, mostly for entertainment value, nothing more. But it's in our everyday life. We've been force fed something for so long, that you just, that's your way of life. That's what you believe. And when you're presented with something different, your automatic reaction is no. That can't be right. That's completely wrong. And it was just disappointing to see, because there's multiple people that I can, that I know that I can point and be like, this is that exact scenario.
Yeah.
Where they've been just basically given free reign, because of their willingness, not necessarily to fabricate the story themselves,
but to allow the story to run.
But not step up and say, that's not the way that happened.
Right.
Here's the way that it happened. But they're going to let somebody tell the story on their behalf, and it makes them sound better than they actually are.
Right.
And that, allowing that to happen, and then the cult following backing that up, basically making these people uncancelable until society deems that, that's no longer cool.
And we as just normal people have an opportunity to embellish or allow something to perpetuate. So I'll give you a recent example. I was talking to somebody about duck hunting, and they started going on about how good they are at this and these field hunts and blah blah blah, and just in the discussion said, actually I got this. I was on pro staff with this call company, and they were giving me duck calls, and I was like, oh wow, and my immediate personal selfish reaction to that, and I almost said it, but I didn't. It's like, oh, I was on pro staff with Cabela's, well, for what purpose? Number one, I only did like one event with Cabela's for being on their pro staff. I saved my shirt though. I didn't give that to Goodwill like Troy did. But then, like, is it true? Yes. Is it true? Not worth trying to one up some dude
Right.
on his duck call deal. Like, okay, you can have that, and I've got a Tommy Topper card that I'm just going to keep my mouth shut about. But if you didn't have to say that, and somebody was standing next to me and would have been like, well, Chet was on Cabela's pro staff, then I could have just then been like, listen to that guy. Oh, let's not talk about that. But how tempting is a human with our selfishness and self-glorification to just allow people to build on that story.
See, but that's the thing that I don't get. That's very hard for me to. I don't want to say deal with, but because that's not the right term. But I can't stand somebody to embellish the story on me. So if they're introducing me to somebody and then they start building my story up, and I'm like, whoa. No, we're, I'm just, hey, I'm Matt, it's good to meet you. We don't, we don't need to rehash all that or go through any of that. That's not what, that happened in the past. That's not me now. Mm-hmm. Here we are,
Yeah.
Well, I can't stand somebody embellishing a story on me because that's not something that I want to try to have to live up to.
Right.
Or keep the lie perpetuated.
Right.
They're not necessarily a lie, but somebody just really likes me. They're hyping me up. They're my hype man. They want to introduce me because, hey, I'm a really good dude most of the time.
Right. Right.
But I'm just like, hey, no. Here's how it actually went down. It's not that big of a deal. But
kind of a big deal,
but not really. You know what I mean?
Kind of a big deal.
And I can't. I'm
doing it for you right now.
But I don't like that. It makes me uncomfortable. Extremely uncomfortable to have somebody do that.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, it makes me cringe. Like, I don't want that.
Yeah.
And and that's what upsets me, I guess, is maybe because it's like I could very well play it up and be on, who knows, whatever, be on Fox News or be on CNN or whatever as a professional war commentator. Because I want to manufacture, not necessarily. And I'm not saying anybody does. I'm just saying that I can build myself up to where people believe.
The way you talk about stuff of kicking down doors and da-da-da, and IED this and, V-22 that. And
right.
You could sell some books, bro.
I could sell some books, but again, my experience is limited to the 20-some odd months that I spent in country. So I've got 20 months of experience, but I'm now the resident professional on the history of urban warfare.
Right.
No, not at all. There are generals that are way more intelligent than me that know how to break that down scientifically. I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
And maybe that's I can't stand people not being humble, I guess. And I don't know if that's if it's selfish, you know what I mean? It's an internal battle. It's an internal struggle. I'm wrestling with myself.
Yes.
And it's like, am I right? Am I wrong for getting mad at them for not being humble? And then, I don't know. It's a whole weird thing, but that it kind of started when I was reading those comments, and I'm like, it's not true.
Yeah.
You know, and these people just keep defending to their last breath, and I'm like, you don't even know. All you know is what you saw on TV or read in a book that's not necessarily a history book
full of facts. Yeah,
you know, and just I don't know. It annoys me.
So it gives you the blues, social media blues.
It gives me the blues, man, because it's like, hey, why don't we just try looking at some other sides of the story sometime instead of just believing what we've been told? I mean, and if the truth really is what you believe, then it will reveal itself. It's not like you shouldn't hesitate to investigate the facts. Just like, you know, if someone says, well, you know, ask about my, you know, faith in Christ, you know, and like, I'm not afraid to defend that. Like,
Right.
Let's go down this path of why I believe that. I'm not afraid that something's going to pop up to surprise me that changes my opinion of that.
Yeah.
Because I have that faith, right? I'm going to go down and let's discover together if there's a misrepresentation or of the facts.
Right.
We're not going to find it there. You know what I mean? I'm confident in that. But if someone says, hey, let's go down the road and let's talk about, you know, Joe Blow and you know, highly decorated, blah, 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 whatever, well, we don't want to approach that.
Yeah.
Let's just leave it because I like.
Oh, you would be disrespecting everybody that's ever served.
Yeah, because I like the story and I don't want to let that feel good go.
Yeah. I'm with
Anyway, just kind of brought me the blues, upset me a little bit. It's like, let's just be a little bit more open to facts.
you. Just the facts, man.
yeah. All right.
After we go off air, I'm totally guessing who that was.
Yeah, feel free. There's and it's not just one.
Yeah, there's more.
There's a
Oh,
few.
there's plenty.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Matt. We're going to take a quick break and come back with our top 3 Christmas traditions.
At Admiral's Pennant, our mission is to offer the latest and refined, high-quality masculine products and services to the modern gentleman, as well as provide him with the tools and products necessary to look, act, and feel confident in his appearance and social interactions. Check it out at admiralspennant.com. Without it, you might as well shave.
And we're back.
Thank you, Chet. All right, we're going to do our top 3 Christmas traditions. Chet, why don't you start us off here?
I'm going to start us off with my number 3, Christmas Eve. So as a kid growing up, we had a tradition of getting to pick one present from under the tree. And if we picked the wrong one, my mom would say, no, it can't be that one.
That one, we're going to wait for tomorrow.
Yep. But then we would get to open that up on Christmas. So it was really exciting. You kind of got to cheat the system and get a present on Christmas Eve, which was good. And then that changed. You know, naturally we got older and got married. And then, so I was a military brat and never grew up around family. So all the holidays were just me, my sister, my mom, and my dad. And then, so when I married into Troy's family, Troy's sister Ashley, they had a Christmas Eve tradition that was the big Christmas event. It was a big dinner. After dinner, open up presents. It was a big deal. And that was my first introduction into like a broad family holiday thing. And I really, really enjoyed that tradition, which is, we've moved on from that now too as well. So my Christmas Eve, number 3, favorite Christmas traditions. Number 2, just being with the kids on Christmas morning. So waking up and having the kids with their presents. We don't wrap Sunday or Christmas morning gifts. They're just unwrapped we don't even put them under the tree. We kind of do each kid has their own
chair.
Well, actually, we just put 3 little sections in front of the fireplace because normally it's a cool morning and you want to turn on the fireplace and warm up. And
I wouldn't know. Well, not everybody's rich and has a fireplace.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just
Isn't your home paid for?
But that's yeah. Jeez.
I'm just
Wasn't it built for you?
I'm so
I mean,
so destitute. I think I'm gonna go check on my hunting property this weekend in my F-350.
That's
I don't
true.
have a mortgage payment, so I'll build this garage so I can build cars in it. Let me think. Wow.
That's true.
I don't know what it's like to have presents on Christmas morning.
I don't know what it's like to have a fireplace.
I have to get more trees
On
this year
Christmas
for my
morning.
many buildings. Anyway.
Oh yeah. That's
That backfired.
Anyway, that's I don't know. I just enjoy them getting to see everything right away. It's not like unwrapping, but just kind of watching the kids. And so Ashley and I are normally having a cup of coffee watching all that unfold. Number one, whenever we travel somewhere as a family, we buy a Christmas ornament from that location. So it's pretty like I don't know, we were in New Mexico several years ago, and we're at where'd we go? Carlsbad Caverns in the middle of the summer, and we're looking in the gift shop for a Christmas ornament because we want to be able to know that from here on out, every time we have a Christmas tree, it's going to have an ornament that reminds us of being here at Carlsbad Caverns. So we go and buy one of those, and we've done that all over the country, in some places outside the country. So that, and this does sound, one of our trees has the vacation ornaments on them.
classic.
It's the one. It's
The one in the foyer when you walk in.
It's
By the first fireplace.
it's one of the trees that borders the fireplace in the basement of the two. There's
the two fireplaces. Now we're getting clear. Now America's getting a
more
clear
specific,
picture of what I meant.
the two trees by the fireplace in the basement.
Now we've got three trees.
That are in the common areas of the house. Yes,
Yeah.
there are two pencil trees near the basement, next to the mantle on the basement fireplace. And then we have one tree upstairs that's deer themed that my wife picked out. And then our kids have a tree in their room.
Do you dress up the basketball court at all? No. I mean,
It's a half court, Troy.
No, you don't even want to talk about the lake in the back with the jet skis in his private dock.
It's a shared lake.
oh man.
All right, that's my
Man,
three.
that is good. Matt, what do you got?
All right, number 3, getting the tree.
Y'all cut one down every year, huh?
We try to go to a Christmas tree farm and cut it down, and it's been that way since my wife and I were first married. Our first year in 29 Palms, we drove up to a place you probably shouldn't have cut a tree down from, and cut a tree down.
A national forest
And-
without a permit.
One of the there was a sign that had been all shot up,
I remember you telling this story.
and I took it off, and it makes the perfect ornament. And so my wife hates it because it's all rusted and just doesn't. But I mean, it was the first Christmas, and we
Was it like "Do not remove trees from this land" sign or something?
No, it was some other U.S. Forest Service sign, and we put the hanger on that, and it's on our Christmas tree every year.
Yeah.
Now. But yeah, I mean, and so that's my wife gets irritated. Why do we have to go do the tree? And she prefer a fake tree because the pine needles make her itchy. She's kind of allergic to the pine, and but it's just kind of a tradition that we
stay with it.
We started and just stick with it. Number 2, always enjoy the Christmas Eve service, and now even for me anyway, when we can get everybody together, the Chosen Christmas story is pretty epic too. But typically going to the church I grew up in with my dad as the pastor and going to the Christmas Eve service there. That's always good. And then number one is the family and food on Christmas Day. We'll open presents in the morning and then basically kind of immediately switch gears into prepping food, getting everything ready, getting all the appetizers set for the family to come over and then get everybody over and eat and play games. And I know Chet doesn't like board games, but we get pretty competitive sometimes on our board games.
That's why I don't like them. You don't need competition on Christmas.
It's good competition. It's clean fun. Nobody's getting mad and throwing games, you know.
Speak for yourself.
Maybe you, but my family, we're normal.
Yeah, you haven't played at the Trussell's house.
You guys get a little crazy?
I don't.
No, we don't. We played at Thanksgiving, and it was just fine.
I wasn't a part of it.
I know.
Yeah. Stay out away.
Should have been.
Anyway, you know, play games and then open presents and just kind of chill out. And then typically my brother and sister-in-law will stick around, and then we'll hang out just chilling till around midnight or so, and then talk about doing it on New Year's Eve again, and then realizing that we're just too old to do that, and so we just don't.
Yeah. That's funny.
Nice.
Good tradition.
All right. That was all three, right?
Yep.
Number three for me, I can't stand it, but it's a tradition. Has been for a few years. The stupid elf on a shelf.
Why is it your top three?
Well, my kids love it, especially the two little ones. And so every year, as one has found out about it, they want to do it for the next kid. So we're pretty sure this will be the last time we do it before our 4-year-old about to turn 5. He'll figure it out. So my daughter actually did most of it last year, which was great. Only had to do it a few nights. But and then Hannah brought up the shepherd. Is kind of like the take on the elf on the shelf. So we're looking into maybe doing that this year.
Yeah.
Where it's
What
like
does it rhyme with?
shepherd.
Yeah.
I don't know,
If it's like elf on a shelf,
but it's shepherd
shepherd on a
in the
leopard. Right? It's got a rhyme.
It's got a rhyme.
shepherd on a leopard. That just got weird.
Well, elf on a shelf.
But
That's weird.
it takes them through the Christmas story.
Okay.
Sheepherder that's down for murder.
There you go. Nice.
Okay.
Okay, moving on. Number 2, Christmas Eve service. We usually go to that, and then we come home, and all the kids put on matching pajamas. And past 2 years, we've lit candles around the tree and talked about the Christmas story. And so that's a pretty fun tradition that we've done. This year is a little different because the Christmas Eve is actually on a Sunday. And so our church is doing a regular Sunday morning service and not having a Christmas Eve night service. They're doing a service that Friday of caroling and the candlelight and all that stuff. So it'll be a little different this year. And then number 1, the tradition as a kid that we had that Chet mentioned was the opening of gifts on Christmas Eve night. And it was epic ridiculousness. But we would, my family would open gifts individually. So we would draw names, and then we would go in an order, or not draw names, we would draw numbers and go in that order. And you would open up all of your gifts in front of everyone so that everyone who bought you a gift would be able to see you opening that said gift.
Because they partook in the joy
Of giving.
So they got to experience.
Yes, and that's how we roll.
Yeah. So much
Still
fun.
today. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but what we do is we don't draw numbers. We go from the oldest to the youngest.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Because, I mean, you bought somebody something, you don't want to just tear it into it and not be able to see.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I paid for, was that reaction on your face, homie.
Yeah. Make it about you.
When when my bro pulls out that bottle of scotch, I want to see if it was
Yeah. Are you regifting scotch?
No, I never regift scotch.
Okay.
I collect it like crazy. Very rarely drink it,
Yeah.
but there are some really good ones that I just will not part with.
I know that you have some really good ones that you have parted with.
I haven't parted with. I've let people have some.
Well, yeah. You remember that.
I'm not parting with bottles, but I've got some better ones since you guys tried. Like
Okay.
some really good ones.
Yeah. That was a fun night.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, so those are my top 3. Yeah, I kind of miss doing that. I mean, we kind of do it on Christmas Day. We go in order and open. It's just not a million gifts like it used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, because my family used to go a bit crazy on the gift buying, which was okay by me because I was a kid.
The older my girls get,
The less they get.
the less presents there are, but the more there is.
And the total dollar spent on your kid annually
Increases.
is higher than it's ever been
Yeah.
outside of Christmas.
All right. Chet, why don't you bring us a good word for this Christmas season?
Humanity is a good word. And as last week, Matt covered Hebrews 2, I think verse 8. And I'm in Hebrews 2. And this is a Christmas thing.
2:18.
2:18. I'm sorry. This is before that, 2:14 and 15. So this is a Christmas verse, even though it's not preached on Christmas time. It says here in Hebrews chapter 2, verse 14 and 15, since the children have flesh and blood, he too shared in their humanity, so that by his death he might break the power of him who holds the power of death, that is the devil, and free those who all their lives were held in slavery by their fear of death. So it's talking about Christ coming for all of humanity, and in that humanity is bound by death. And Christ came so that he could conquer the one that holds the power over death, the devil, so that we can have a relationship with him. So the Christmas story is not just about Jesus being born. It's completed in Jesus' purpose of being born, which is so that he could conquer death for us on our behalf, so that we could spend eternity with him. So we should not forget the reason for the season, in that it's not just that Jesus came, it's why he came and what he did in dying and being resurrected. That's the most important thing, not just, what is that?
Called it.
He said resurrection earlier, and you just.
But it's humanity.
I get it.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm following. I'm tracking.
You called it.
I'm digging it.
It's good. That's why he's here. And we don't need to get caught up just thinking about him coming. Think about why. And when we talk to our kids, we'll be talking about why he came. Not just that he came, but why he came. And he came for all humanity to have a chance at conquering death through him.
Yep.
Merry
I like
Christmas.
I like it.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
See you next year.
No, we will see you in 7 days.
Which is not next year, which is
The 28th.
next week.
Yeah.
The prelude
Happy New Year.
to the new year.
That's right.
Idiot.
Thanks for listening to the Hardheaded Podcast. Don't forget to share this podcast with others to help us get the word out.
Also, if you haven't yet, please rate and review the show. This helps our podcast show up in other people's suggested shows that may or may not have listened to us before.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.